Hello all, this is the second video for the miscellaneous glass tab. I just want to reiterate that the restroom, mirrors, fitness, and decorative, these are all user defined and they all make it to the proposal. Also, in the previous video, the first one, I went over the significance of these cells with the border at the bottom and how that they populate the easy proposal as well. So we have here J channel is figured on each of them, and I just want to demonstrate how this works. If we have 144 and a quantity of 1, it is returning just the top or the bottom. So we're just going to say that it's returning the number of J channels for the bottom. If I were to make this 145, it will switch it to 2. If I were to make this a quantity of 2, it will go to 4, when in fact you only need 3 for 2 at 145. So I'm demonstrating that this will apply the J channel liberally. If you are doing a project with a lot of fitness mirror per se, you are going to want to do a manual optimization to get it correct. Go through and look at these steps to do it. First is to adjust the stock length, then put your quantities in here. It will process them, bring it back here, and you want to use these buttons to copy and eventually produce a cut sheet. So what happens here is, once again, it will figure for each line liberally, quite, and you have the opportunity to increase percentage. You can go, -10 if you want. Generally, you're going to want to keep that at 0, but that availability is there. Oops, undo. So what this does is that it totals up the J channel, goes through this percentage, and then finalizes it here. This is then brought down here. Excuse me. This is then brought down here where it is doubled. So it's applied to the top and the bottom. This here is, mirror 2, fitness mirror, restroom mirror. So there's the 19 coming over. It's being doubled. Then the 361 and the 228 are brought over here on J channel. The next thing I would like to figure here while I'm on individual totals is to just let you know that the energy surcharge is applied to everything applicable in various ways. Rest assured that it is, once it gets to individual totals, that the energy surcharge has been applied. So 512 is 465 plus the energy surcharge. Coming over here to this drop down, like over here, if you have it as choose and there are no values in here, when you do the RFQ, it will hide these so U and Y get hidden. Because there's a value other than choose, and there's a value here, the RFQ will not hide them, presenting this information. No matter what, the J channel will be hidden because this RFQ is designed to be sent for mirror, and here is what they look like. This is the simplest one. This is mirror 1, restroom mirror. Simply the J channel has been hidden and the price down here does not show. This is an example where a 2-inch hole was chosen and it shows that and got rid of J channel. And this is an example where the chosen was retained. and therefore it was hidden. So just to reiterate, if this is anything other than choose, it will not delete them if there's value there. The use of this is basically for fitness mirrors where you will need to cut out an opening for maybe a TV stand or an electrical outlet or perhaps a ballet balance beam. And the functionality goes as such. There's 1/4 inch here. Generally, you're only going to be using, 1/4 inch. I don't really see a reason why you would do anything other. So 1/4 inch and 2-inch hole will return this value 1153, which then the energy surcharge is applied to get 1268. 1268 is then multiplied by 6 to get 7610. And I realize that this is a little funky. I just had to kind of get it somewhere. Generally, it's not going to be touched. It's just a transitional ways to establish the following, which is 7610 plus this right here. And unfortunately, cutouts had to kind of be put on a single row. So should there be cutouts in decorative mirror, they will be added here. So it's a little off, but you're not going to be using it very often. I wanted to keep this concise, and I struggled a lot on where to put it. But there it is, cutouts. Basically, everything's there. You don't have to concern yourself. While I'm here, just again, with mirror, typical glass, and fiberglass, it's a little backwards in that the material is established on the tab other than individual, and the labor is done on individual. So it's just a little backwards right there. So that's basically how you would do it. Man hours per light, and there is your labor right here. Coming back, we are going to go over... okay, so these values are plugged in right here. The idea is that you have a rolling mirror price kind of, tattooed up on the wall in the office that you may adjust a couple times a year, but you're generally just applying a price and moving on. For the due dates, this is tied to the first two. So there it is there. And this one is tied to here. So I did the decorative separate. Okay. And when you do the RFQ, it will pull what is in here. It will add the due date, and it will provide the name of the job, like so. All right. The name of the job is not written on the PDF itself. The name of the job in this case is only going to be on the name of the RFQ. Once again, just trying to keep it more concise. Down here is where the J channel, I touch upon this a little bit, but the J channel is pulled from money, which is right over here. So, the only thing you got to know is that this value is set to this, right? So if you're going to change this up, it'll change top and bottom. You're going to want the same finish, right? If you use a different part, you can, any of these can be changed. So there's the goofiness that I just did. So I'm just showing you that you can adjust this however you'd like, and that this is equaling that. So adjust these values, and these will adjust accordingly. Now, obviously, these are not tied. You have to manually put these in, and obviously, you manually put in the price. And it's kind of the same as utility, where it's all just... And I'm slowly incorporating everything over for you to completely make changes on here. There are some hiccups, but this is one I was able to make available. That's generally, we're getting to the end here. Long runs is a fun little calculator. So the idea of this is if you have a bunch of mirrors, you can put the elevation, insert elevation reference there. And then what you want to do is establish a max width according to the height. So say the height is 78 inches and you're saying you want the max width to be 96, 94, whatever it might be. And then what that will do is assuming that all the heights and widths are the same, it will copy that down. Obviously you can override this. I don't really see a reason why you would want to. And let's see here, reset. I might want to go over those buttons again. I think reset, what that does is resets these values here. Anyway, so let me just put this back in. And then what you're going to do is just plug in your feet as you measure it with Bluebeam, or as it's shown on the architecturals will go, 56'5", and you can plug it in right here and just go, 854 inches. And what that will do is provide you the largest width you can do, and then figure the quantities. And this is on a significance of 2, so it will be an even inch every time. And you can copy these and paste the value. I'm working on a macro that I have room for here to bring these up, and I'm attempting to get it to distribute them accordingly here if it finds a new value. It's a little challenging, and I have better things to do as of now, but right now you need to copy this and plug it in here, which is not the biggest deal, of course. But long run calculator, don't be afraid of it, and remember it's there. I then have quantity things to compare, anyway, just kind of like a little check there. So this is basically it. Obviously you have the clear. The clear is the simplest one. It just grabs the whole thing and clears out the red. I just want to acknowledge that this one doesn't have the input gradients in behind. I figured it was just a little more pleasing to the eye to flatten it out. It's obvious where the inputs go. I did it here when it's not as obvious. And I believe that is it. Your typical hide and unhide resize. I went over the RFQ. This you put in manually. You got the percentage. This copies over quantity, square foot, price per square foot with the energy surcharge. J channel comes over. Man hours on here. You're basically just plugging that in. Over here is nice. It gives you the price per square foot for each one. So if you're working on a price per square foot for restroom as compared to fitness, you have that availability. And then total price per square foot is over here with all of them considered. Total square foot XYZ. Thank you for watching.